Are you one of those nurses who cannot make up their mind in choosing the right agency to take you to the United States to work as a USRN? Because let's face it, there are a lot of them out there, but it doesn't mean that they are all good and they are the same. So in today's vlog, we will be talking about the questions you should be asking yourself and the questions you should be asking the recruitment agency before finally making the right decision and finally making the good choice. Okay? Welcome. This is your nurse Rebecca for PINOY Nurse Portal. So if you're interested, please stick around. Let's proceed with the first question you should be asking. And this question has to be directed to yourself. Okay, did you look into that agency? Are they legit? Okay, if you are from the Philippines, make sure that that recruitment agency is affiliated or registered through POEA. I don't think POEA is still called POEA. I will write it down here. I think it's called OWA now. Well, anyway, just make sure that that agency is legit. Okay, next question is really important. Did you know that because of the scarcity of nurses in the USA, most hospitals are giving sign-in bonus, okay? You might not get the whole amount of the sign-in bonus that the hospital is giving their nurses that are from the United States, but make sure that you will get a sign-in bonus from your recruitment agency. Let's say, for example, this is from this website, okay? This is how much they're giving their nurses to sign a contract with them, okay? So it's important to ask your agency if you will get a sign-in bonus. Let's say the sign-in bonus from that hospital is $6,000 for a 2-year contract. Do not expect, though, for your recruitment agency to give you the whole $6,000. That will never happen because they spent money in taking you to the United States. So it's imperative that they will get a cut from your pay and your sign-in bonus, okay? But whether they will give you the whole portion or less of a portion, it's important that you will get a sign-in bonus. Next question, do they have a referral bonus? Most hospitals in the US right now will give a referral bonus. What is referral bonus? Let's say I'm Nurse Rebecca and I signed through an agency and I brought a friend to sign a contract with them. Okay, usually they will give you a bonus and your friend for signing a contract with them. It's not a whole lot of money, but still a bonus, okay? It's still enough to take you to Jollibee, okay? So money is still money, it's still a dollar sign, and it's also important to ask that question. Next question, do they have a housing allowance or housing bonus? True story, when I came here way back in 2006, our agency paid for the first month of my apartment rent. That is very convenient. Now ask your agency, your recruitment agency, if they will do the same. If they will not do the same, will they give you money to pay for that apartment? Because let's face it, if you've been listening to me, I told you there is a shortage of nurses and it's projected to last till 2039. So right now, use that power to negotiate, okay? But if they will tell you there's none, well, move on to the next agency. Next question, the length of contract. You don't want to stay with an agency too long because you will be wasting a lot of money because you will not get the rate that the hospital will be giving you because let's face it, the agency will get a cut from your hourly rate. Let's say the hourly rate to the state you want to go to is $59 an hour. If it's $10 less than the average in that city or state, it's okay. If it's $7 less, that's still okay. As long as your contract is not 5 years. Do not sign a 5-year contract. 2 to 3 years contract is okay, but a 5-year contract, no. Next, ask your agency a hypothetical question. Ask them, let's say, for example, something will happen to me and I can no longer work as a nurse. What will happen to my contract? What kind of help will I be getting from the agency? Let's say you can no longer work as a nurse. Is there going to be another job they will offer for you? Let's say an office job or anything like that, okay? That's very important. I'm not saying that it will happen, but that is something that you should also be asking. That way you know what to do in case something like this will happen. Next question, let's say nothing happened to you, but you just want to end the contract. You need to know how much to buy off your contract. When I came here in 2006, ang tanda ko na talaga, the buy-off contract was $14,000. That was 2006. But then there were a lot of nurses who were able to afford $14,000 to buy off their contract. That way they could get the full hourly rate from that hospital or from another hospital. Because let's face it, again, if you will sign a contract with an agency, there will be a lot of restrictions. One of the restrictions back then was we were not allowed to work part-time with another hospital. And there are 7 days a week. We are only allowed to work 3 days a week. What are we going to do with our 4 days off? If you are single, most especially, you can work anywhere else, okay? So it's also another question to ask your agency. Will you be allowed to work part-time while working full-time with them, okay? Okay, next. Well, anyway, before we proceed, if you're not a subscriber yet, can you do me a favor and click the subscribe button and give me a like right now? Thank you so much. Okay, next. What is the overtime pay? I mean, how do they pay you with overtime? And when is overtime gonna kick in? My current hospital right now and my previous agency, overtime starts after 40 hours, okay? Meaning to say, if you are required to work 36 hours per week, and you reach 37 hour, on the 37 hour, that is not an overtime yet, okay? And I'm talking about Arizona. It depends on which state you are going. That's why it's important to know which state you're going. That way you could ask this question, okay? Every state has a different policy. In Arizona right now, and in my current employment, overtime starts after 40 hours, meaning to say you have to fulfill 40 hours in that week, and after that everything will be paid overtime. And how will you be paid overtime? I think in California, and correct me if I'm wrong if you are watching this and if you are from California, their overtime pay is ×2, okay? That's some of the hospitals. But in Arizona, we are paid ×1.5. So what does that mean? This is how you will calculate that. Let's say your hourly rate is $59 an hour. Multiply that by 1.5, okay? So it will be this one over here. Next question, the benefits, okay? Take note that you are hired through a recruitment agency, so don't ask or expect for a lot of benefits yet, okay? But these are the benefits you should be asking your recruitment agency. Number one, do they have a retirement benefit? Okay, what is that? So some agencies or most agency will offer you a 401k. That's a retirement benefit. They will ask you how much money you want to put on your retirement, and I suggest you really have to take it. 401k is a money you can take. Let's say after your contract ends with your current recruitment agency and you want to move to a different company, you can roll over that money to that agency. You will take it with you. The company will not take it, okay? Next question you should be asking your employer or your recruitment agency is that, do they have a short-term disability and a long-term disability? So what's the difference between the long-term and the short-term? So the short-term, as the term implies, is a short-term disability. Let's say, let's use my case. So when I get pregnant and I have a baby, you could choose, kasi when buying a short-term disability, it will ask you how many days you want. Do you want the 15 days short-term disability? That's usually more expensive. There is also a choice for 7 days. I don't recommend that, okay? But 15 days is okay. It's a little more expensive than the 30-day short-term disability. So ano naman yon? Okay, so let's say for example nga that you delivered your baby and you of course need to go on a maternity leave, okay? So let's say you paid for a 7-day short-term disability. It will kick in on the 8th day, okay? So let's say you asked for a maternity leave and the hospital or your employer granted you for a 30 days, okay? Kasi magkaiba yan. If you have a normal delivery, you have a shorter maternity leave. If you have a C-section, which I had ×2 in the United States, you have a longer maternity leave, okay? But it also depends on how much PTO, meaning paid time off, you have accumulated, which is the next question you should be asking. But before we proceed, let me just explain the short-term disability. So let's say you paid for the 15-day, it will kick in on the 16th day. So they will not pay you for the first 15 days yet. So let's say, for example, on the 16th day up to the 30th day that you are on a maternity leave, the short-term disability will pay for you. And it depends on the policy that you signed up for. So the long-term is also different. Let's say you get disabled and you can no longer work permanently. When will it kick in? I don't know, but it's good to have a long-term disability, okay? Next question you should be asking your agency is your PTO hours and your sick time. So what is PTO? PTO stands for paid time off, okay? And the other one obviously is sick time. Others call it AIB or whatever your agency is going to call it. You have to ask your vacation time and your sick time, okay? You have to ask them how to accumulate PTO time. In the Philippines, it's automatic every year. We get a vacation time of 30 days. We also have a bereavement. We also have maternity leave and all that stuff. In the United States, they will use your PTO hours. There is no such thing as free in the United States because in the US time is gold, okay? Back in my old agency and in my current employer right now, you accumulate 4 hours per pay period in the beginning of your contract, okay? But as you stay with them longer, you will accumulate more hours, okay? So this is what's important to note. If your agency will offer you 4 hours per pay period, that's already good, okay? But if you will find an agency that will offer you more than 4 hours, that's also a good choice, okay? Next question you should be asking your recruitment agency is, when will sick time going to kick in? Because let's face it, while you're here, you will get sick. You will get cold, cough, or maybe diarrhea or something else. It's important that you know when will the sick time going to kick in, okay? So they are smart over here. With my old agency and with my current employment agency, with my current hospital right now, sick time will kick in after using your first PTO days. So that is 12, 14. I'm not really good with math. 12 times 3. This 3 hours. No, not 3 hours. O basta, this much hours. They have to use your PTO hours before they will use your sick time. They are very smart. But the good news is you will accumulate a different PTO hours and a sick time, okay? All right, next question you should be asking, will I be able to cash in my PTO hours if I don't use them? Some companies will let you cash in your PTO hours. Let's say you don't want to go on a vacation because you are a workaholic. Will you be able to cash in your PTO hours? The answer should be yes, okay? But they will not give it to you all 100%. Currently, with my hospital where I'm working at, they will give you your PTO hours in cash, but they will only give you the 75% value of that PTO hours. Next question, what are the holidays that you will be paid? This should also be one of the deciding factors in choosing your recruitment agency. Let's say the recruitment agency A will give you 9 paid holidays and the other agency will only give you 6. So you have a better choice, right? That's why it's really important to ask these questions. Okay, let's proceed to the next one. Next question, and this is very, very important. You cannot come to the United States without all of this. Okay, you have to ask that agency, will they pay for your visa screen, your NCLEX, IELTS, the review and all that? Ignore that. That's my husband over there. Okay, it's really, really important. If you are a broke... Okay, let's continue. I'm sorry about that. So if you are a broke nurse like I used to in the Philippines, it's really important that the agency will cover for all of those expenses. Visa screen, NCLEX, IELTS, and the review for all of those. Okay, the application and all of that. It's really important. Other agency will not cover for it, but they will reimburse you for it. Okay, so which agency you will take? The one who will pay for it or the one who will make you pay for it but will will let you reimburse? I guess the answer is it depends on your financial situation in your country. Like I said, if you're broke like me, then you will choose the one who will cover for all of it. Okay, next, will they cover for your airfare? My agency paid for my airfare. When I came over here, it was Cathay Pacific, and it was so funny. The agency made us carry the x-ray film. Sa airport, pinagtitinginan kami. They were looking at us because we were carrying a big x-ray film. I don't know if they still require you to bring the film, but in case they do, make sure to buy a, what do you call that? A roll something. That way you could just carry it rolled. That's something really funny and something that makes me smile when I think about it. Next question you should be asking them is, will they have an office in the state or city you are going to? If the answer is no, ask them for their number, their HR, their payroll, their representative in case of emergency, anything personal that you have or anything that will happen to you. Make sure that there is a person you could contact, because it's really, really hard to move to a different country, to move to a different city that you don't have any friends or relatives to call. Okay, so when you come over here, make sure that your agency becomes your friend. Don't fight with them. I know they make a cut from what you make hourly, but they help you come over here. That's why I'm telling you to ask all these questions. That way you can make a good, sound decision. Okay, make sure you really make a good relationship with your agency, because they will become your parents when you come over here. And there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Once again, this is your Nurse Rebecca for Pinoy Nurse Portal. And if you haven't subscribed yet, magagalit na ako sa inyo. I'm gonna get angry na. Please subscribe, okay? And please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And please comment down below if you have more questions or any topic that you want me to share. And I will do my best to share it with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. See you on our next vlog.